Hey everybody, Benjamin Yates from the University of Louisiana here. I've got a few videos here at the end of this video that are going to just show you the LMEA All-State trombone, tenor trombone, and bass trombone audition materials for this year. These are just the listed excerpts. But I also want to point out that in the description below this video, I've got my website listed, as well as another YouTube link listed that will provide you with the full videos for all of these etudes so that you can learn the entire thing and really understand how to do all of them. I think as you're preparing these auditions, a couple of things to think about. You want to make these as musical as possible, which means you don't want any technical things in your way if possible. Okay, so make sure that your technical things are taken care of, and then make sure that you've got really interesting music for your judge, for your auditor to listen to. I think the second thing to keep in mind is that there's lots of things that we forget to talk about often when we're thinking about trombone. We're thinking about slide positions, we're thinking about range, we're thinking about notes and rhythms. But the dynamics, the musical content, the phrasing, and where you're breathing and how you're breathing are really, really, really important, especially when it comes down to figuring out who the best player in a group is. Okay, so that's just some basic ideas, some things to be actually thinking about. Hopefully these videos can help you take care of rhythms, notes, passages like that, and then you can start creating your own musical ideas. You do not have to copy these musical ideas. These are things I came up with, and I think they work pretty well, but you want to come up with something that's really sustainable and interesting for someone to listen to. The last thing I'll mention is that when a judge is listening to auditions, a judge can really hear and pick out when a player has been taking care of business in terms of the daily routine, in terms of warming up every day and taking care of business on the things that everyone should be working on a daily basis. So you want to make sure that as you ramp up to these auditions that you're playing every day and that you're playing long tones, thinking about your best ideal sound and making sure that that's really coming across on your instrument. You want to be thinking about your articulations, making sure that they're really clear and have a good focus clarity. And finally, you want to be thinking about style. We're kind of in the middle of marching band season, and that's a different style than what we're trying to do for these concert all-state auditions. And so making sure that you're dialing yourself maybe back from some of that harder, more aggressive articulation that we certainly would use on the marching field, and then creating some sort of molded phrase structure that really works well for your instrument, your etude, the excerpt that you're really providing to the judge. The final thing that I'll mention here is that sight reading is a third of your audition. So a third of your audition is scales, a third is sight reading, and a third is the etudes. And people spend a lot of time on the etudes, which is great. Make sure that your scales are in good shape. You just need to play the LMEA All-State scale sheet, front to back. We start on C and go from there. So making sure that you really have that well under control is important, and making sure that you're sight reading. I've provided a few sight reading excerpts at the end of this website page that I've created for all state auditions. You can get sight reading from anything, including the Voxman book. Great place to pick out some sight reading. And if you want more sight reading, go ahead and reach out to me. I'd be happy to help with that. The final thing I'll mention is UL Lafayette has an all-state preparation clinic happening on September 12th. The link is below this video. Please go ahead, check that out. It's going to be great. We've got guest artists. We're going to be able to give you some time to think about the overall audition process and what the preparation for that's like. And then you'll go into individual instrument master classes and have the opportunity to really work on your etudes and think about your audition process on your instrument. That's a really great opportunity, and it's free September 12th at UL Lafayette. Hope to see you there. Thanks. Thank you.